Hello and welcome to how I play my level 50 warrior. Now, I play this character on live and I'm kind of playing quasi solo, but I do have another character kind of helping me out here. But we're going to talk about the disciplines we have at level 50. We're going to talk about how I have some of my UI stuff set up and generally how I play a level 50 warrior. Now, if you're on a TLP, some of this will vary here and there. I'll try to point out the points where things will vary, mostly in the gear section because this character is a bit geared for being a level 50. But I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about some alternate gear and stuff like that. So disciplines, yeah, there's not many. The level 50 warrior is a bare bones class, a brute force, meat shield, nothing more, nothing less. We are not a DPS class, we are a tank, and at this point we don't have a lot of utility. Right now, if you play on TLP, you do get access to provoke at level 20. That is your bread and butter for getting aggro. We do also have taunt right here in our combat abilities over here. It doesn't give me a description. But Tom puts us on the top of the aggro list, +1. So it is kind of a very nice thing. I like to do it on cooldown just so I'm always on top, but it just depends on how you play and if you want to save it for specific things and specific mechanics that you will have to do while playing a warrior. But provoke is our pretty much only discipline that I would even consider using. Throw stone and elbow strike share the same timer 9 timer, so they're absolutely useless. The timer 5 that we have here, focused will and resistance and fearless discipline, worthless. There's a few places where you can use fearless on TLPs, like fighting dragons and stuff like that. We can go fearless and just not get feared, and that's the only time it's ever used for me. Because at 55 we get more, 50 plus, we get better disciplines that share that same timer 5 stuff. So they never get used outside of that short window and whatnot. But yeah, that's so provoke. Bellows profanity your opponent, causing them to be very angry at you. So let me see if I have a combat dummy here that is not red to me. I don't think I am going to. What the hell level's this one? All right, we got a level 51 right here. All right, let's grab him. Oh, we just crashed the desktop. All right, so without fail, every time I right click on one of these things, for some reason it crashes me to desktop. But all right, so as I was about to demonstrate, provoke, our only real aggro generating ability, is a hatred over time for 1 minute. So I like to use it to pull personally because I mean it's, what is this, at least 20 to 30 seconds reuse. It takes a little while, time for the mobs to die and stuff like that, but it just depends on what you're doing. Now I do have a bow, but I did not get myself arrows, so I've been using it to pull from pretty much level 20 all the way up to level 50. And it is, pretty good, in my opinion. Now, another thing that is something I do is I auto kick, auto skill kick. Now, you can auto skill bash as the other one, but unless you're shrunk, you cannot use slam or bash without a shield. So I don't have a shrinker in my current group that I'm doing, so it is pretty much I'm an amulet of necropotence, which I cannot slam with, so can't do a two-handed bash. So kick is where it's at. At 55 plus, kick will do the same stun that you get with bash, so something nice there. But if you do have access to someone who can shrink you, you can auto skill bash and it will use the slam ability. You are a large race, so something to use there. I've done that on TLP many a time. Let's see here, what else? Yeah, so that was all the disciplines. Like, I'm not going to talk about these other ones. They're all absolutely useless except for provoke. Now, when we get into 50 to 55, there'll be more things we can talk about. Right now, my bars are very bare. Like, if you've seen any of my other characters, they have so many buttons and stuff going on. There is nothing. I do have a multi-bind setup on this character. If you don't know what a multi-bind is, that is where every button on the same hotbar is bound to the same button. All my characters use 4 and 5 as their multi-bind button. My multi-bind button just turns on attack, does pet attack, pet swarm. Later on, we do get some kind of like little pets we can control, and there is a mace I'm trying to get a hold of that summons a pet and stuff like that. So there's I just have those in there for now. As we level up and go through, I might remove them. But the only thing I have in here is taunt. This is just a button to spam myself to learn Elvish since I'm on FV. As long as I'm in a group with a mercenary or another person, I can spam Elvish at one skill, and I can learn the skill all the way up to 100. So I just kind of work on that while I'm doing the stuff. But oh, I didn't auto skill kick. There we go. Now I'm gonna kick. I already had it on and disables it. I wish that was a little bit more verbose and like you could see like what is active and stuff like that. But you can kind of see here, like, our weapon damage is not significant. I mean, we're doing, you know, 6 to 83 damage. I'm using raid weapons, obviously. Let's see, Blade of Carnage is a 1520, and then Jaylene's Katana is a 1419. So, you know, about the same thing. These are hatred weapons, so that's kind of like, we can segue into gear now because there's no more abilities to talk about. Gear wise, you're going to want to look for anything with Enraging Blow on it. Strike of the Chosen's a life tap, so it's not really that. If you're on TLP and you're level 50 and you're in Classic, you're going to want to go with the Short Swords of the Acacia, and then follow that up with a Bloodfire whenever you kill Khazak Thul. Those will be your taunting weapons in Classic. And then when Kunark opens, you know, you're going to want to go for the Epic at, you know, 50 to 55. You can get it, I believe, at 50. So we'll talk about it now. And there's some other weapons along the way, and we'll have to cover those as we go into the further and further stuff. These are weapons from Velius raids, and it's just, you know, all the stuff up until the end of Velius didn't have level requirements on it. Like you see, these have like proc requirements and stuff like that. I think I have another item in here. These primal, yeah, the primal Velium sword has a level requirement of 55. So it's, you know, just depends on that. But so as we get into those other levels, we'll talk about different things. But for the most part, you're going to want to go for the best AC gear you can get. Weapons should be 2 aggro generating weapons. Ideally, there's not a whole lot really at this level. Blade of Carnage being one. On TLP, as I said, Short Swords of the Acacia are good, and Bloodfire, but outside of that, in Classic at level 50, there is not a whole lot. I would say straight up the first real aggro weapons you're going to get a hold of on any of these, you know, that are going to really be decent are the epics at anywhere from 50 to 60. Those, you know, require raids and stuff on TLPs. On live here, I'll do the epic for this guy. I was going to switch to a different warrior that already has them, but I think I want to redo it because I don't remember the story, so I'm going to redo the video for the warrior epic, and we can kind of take a look at those. And they're, you know, probably some of the most iconic weapons that you can do as a warrior. But I does not really much else. I pretty much walk up to the mob, I attack the mob, I hit my multi-bind, which is literally just taunt, and then I'm spamming my group with language spam. Currently not in a group right now, but that's pretty much it. I didn't buy arrows, so I haven't been using archery. I just pull with provoke. Before, I was just running around and pulling a bunch of mobs because I am literally unkillable. And for the most part, I am unkillable in content that gives me experience that I can kill. So it's just kind of the benefit there. Now, gear wise, outside of this gear, you're like looking for what to buy on a TLP. You're gonna want to look for Defiant gear for sure if you're on live. Even spell that right? There we go. Defiant. See here. Intricate Defiant is what you're looking for. This stuff right here. Intricate Defiant plate boots. That works. So these have a level requirement of 48 and a recommended level of 60. So the stats will kind of scale slightly if we look at it here. So if I put them on at level 50, it'd be 85, but when you do that, it goes up to 100. So it's not a big difference, but definitely the best gear you can get outside of raid gear that you can wear at low levels. And ideally, I'll be transitioning to Intricate Defiant gear as it drops for me and stuff like that. But who knows? Who honestly knows what I'll get? It's like so random. I had like two bags full of Defiant stuff, and nothing was beyond flawed Defiant. So that's as much as I've gotten so far. But you can see here the prices here on FV are fairly good when it comes to some of this stuff, like a 60 platinum sword. I sell everything for 1 platinum on my vendor Hobbs sales, but I think someone bought me out because I don't see a damn thing from him. So it looks like someone bought out all my Defiant that I had up. But I put it up as soon as I can, just to make it easier for new players and stuff like that. But I think people buy it to resell, honestly. I wish I had a better way to distribute stuff to new players, but that's gear wise. Like I can't think of anything else to say there. As we get into like where it becomes more important and stuff that we'll talk about AUGs and stuff. But right now it's at level 50. There's no AUGs on TLPs, and the AUGs don't really matter at this level because they have like one stat on them anyway. So we'll talk about those when we get to higher level. But I think that is a good place to stop. That's how I play them. I like run up to a mob, I attack it, and I kill it. There's not much else to it. There's no other really abilities. Later on, we'll get some more abilities that we can talk about that make it actually fun to play, but it is rather boring to play a level 50 warrior. Alright, so thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.